So today we'll learn how to create this church poster design here at Pixellab. So the design is not really much, but I really want to tell you some of the reasons why some actions are done on designs. So these are some of the things I'll be majorly focusing on. So if you are just joining us, you are welcome, and remember to give this video a thumbs up and kindly subscribe so to enjoy more of this content. So let's get started really quick. So I've typed out all my text right here. So I'm using this as reference, okay? So I would just need to hide this. So right here, here's my background. Okay, but before determining the background, remember to adjust the size. So for the sake of this video, I'm just using, I should use the default size, so but I think I've adjusted these pixels 3000, so it's still okay, and I will just use it since it is frictional. So I just position my background just like this. All the background will be dropped on our Telegram channel, so I'll leave a link to download it right there. So I'll just log this. So I'll be using my real design as reference. So really quick, I'll just have to unhide these two. So I'll move this to the front. This will be my text, this to the front, and this to the front. So to this, I use the font Bebas. So let's check it right here. You come to your font option. I'll come to my recent, and this is the font I used, Bebas New Regular. So I click on OK. So this is the font I use for the two text. So I'll just upscale it like this, just like this. Then I'll come to my line spacing. Then I would adjust the line just little. So it's okay like this. Then I'll click on OK. So I'll come to my texture. I'll select my texture. So I'll be using the same background as my texture, but this time I'll crop it. So to the portion I just really need, anywhere like this, I'll click on OK. So you have something like this. So then I'll just come to my stroke so that the text will be visible. Okay, so I'll click on this color is okay, or any of these, but I can just come to my plus icon and color pick instead. So I'll just color pick. Now pick anyone at all. Let's see if it works. So it works. I think it works fine this way. So I'll just select this. I would enable my stroke. So a stroke for this is okay. Let's use one. So, and I'll come to my texture as well, and I would use the same background. So let's change the stroke to 2. So I think it really makes sense now. So I'll just come to my alignment and I will align these two, and I will align it. So I'll come to my position and I'll move this up like so. So I would need to determine my margin. Okay, so I'll come to this grid settings and I will enable this grid to, and I'll adjust this like this. So I really love to determine it. I use position of 5. I click on OK, and to the right side I use position of 95. So to this I can use 10, but for the sake of this video let's use 5. So let's just use 5. So I'll click on OK. So I'll select my logo. So I'll move this to the front. So, and before that I'll give it a stroke, just a white stroke, and it's okay like this. So I'll just reduce it. So I come to my position. So I'll lock it. So here is the church name. I'll move this to the front, this to the front. Okay, so I've typed everything out for sake of time. So you know how to add text. So for the text, I used Montserrat. It's common. So I'll just come to my font. So I use Montserrat, but I use bold this time around. So make sure you get the font family on that font and you are good to go. So you need to make sure you align some of this text. So to align it, I'll just to this one, I'll just enable it. I just hashtag, just normal hashtag like the kind of program it is. So it's okay like that. So I'll just log this and log this as well. So I'll come to my reference and I'll move this to the front. So once we are done with this little detail, I'll just come to my text, my shape. So I'll come to my shape option right here and I'll just crop the shape just a bit like this. Just like this, I think is okay. I'll just adjust it. I'll click on OK. So I'll come to my texture. So I would also crop the area I want to be obvious. So I want this side to be obvious. I will just click on OK. So you have the texture like this. So you can just adjust the texture somewhere around here if it's not your taste. So you can just try those things out and I'll click on OK. So the reason why we are using the texture mainly is because we want to create uniformity. So we want the text, the whole design layout to be this reddish feeling. So we don't want much color. That's the purpose of we using elements from the background. So I'll just come to my, so I want to work well on this. I'll just reduce this somewhere like this. So I think I'm okay. So I'll just make a copy of these two, and I'll make a copy. This is the third one. So I'll come to my grid line right here and I will adjust. So let's just see something like this. So we have it like this. So I'll just come to the three shape right here now, align it to the middle. So I'll just click on OK. So now back to our image. So I need to move this image to the front. So this to the front, this to the front, and this to the front. So now it's time to arrange our models. So let me just edit this. So I'll come to my crop option right here. Then I'll just use this option to flip. So I would adjust it like this. So once it's adjusted, then I'll click on OK. So I would just make sure it is like this. But before that, let's really do something really quick. So I'll come to my grid settings right here and I would select one of these. So I'll use it to rule the shape we just create. So I'll just use it to rule it like this over the side. Try to know, to share what I'm saying, and to this side below just use the grid to rule it like this. So click on this to make a copy and you adjust it, make a copy and you adjust it like this. So do everything. And so here we have it. So even if it's not really close, so disable this, make sure you disable the grid settings so I don't tamper with it. So here's it, we successfully ruled the shape. So now let's lock the shape so we don't still move it. So I'll just come to this first one and I would position my model like this. I want the image head to be a bit pop out. Okay, so that's just the trick. So I'll come to my max tool right here. So it has been a while we've been using max tool, so I'll just use this grid. Okay, so I'll just move this up like this. So make sure it is aligned with the shape that you are creating. Okay, so select it like this, and you do make sure this node, or I'm sorry, this handle is touching the other node, and this should touch this should touch this. So this is what we'll be doing. So I'll enable it and I'll click on max out, and so here we have it. So you can see the image is maxed around the shape. It's like it is maxed inside perfectly well, right? So let's just do the same thing to the other images. Okay, so now we successfully maxed the image perfectly well like this. So one thing I need you to consider also when maxing is that make sure the head position are just the same, like I mean the head size. So don't make one of the heads be bigger than the other. I think I've said it on most of my videos. So just stick to these formulas. So I'll just do this first shape at the background. So I'll just come to my stroke. So it's just a choice. I just come to my stroke, and I would, so that the effect of the max will not be too much shown. So I'll just do it like this to 4 to 3 or 4. So I'll just select white. I'll do the same to this. So now you can see we have this amazing design like this. So it's really cool. So now we need to lock the 3. So I'll move my reference to the front. So now we have the mini string. Just come to my text, everything I typed out, increase the size just a bit, and I will align it. So I'll just align it like this. Now lock it. So now that everything is typed out, so the text I just typed out. So now you want to type out our date, location and address, everything right here. But one thing you can notice that the background, even if you type it, some might be not visible, just like this lighting points right here. So it might not be visible. Because of this, we'll be selecting an image, a shape. So I'll select a shape just to cover this edge right here. So just something around here. So these are the tricks, these are the reasons why we use some elements. So I talked about shape divider on some of my videos. So these are the reasons why we use some of these things. So I just want to, so it's not really more, I just treat it like an angle of 1 to just add this font style to it. So it's not really much. So, and I would move this to the front. So let's have this, and I would adjust this like this. So I love to upscale it just like this, so I'll be able to see some of the things I'm doing. So I'll just upscale it like this. So I'll move this to the front. So here's our text. I just crop my text. So if it's not really working well, I'll just select it. So I'll be able to determine what I actually want. So I want it like this. So I'll click on done and I'll come to my line spacing. So this line spacing, and I would just, yes, so make it closer. Come to your size, reduce your size. So let's see how it is. So just reduce your size. So now that they are typed out, you just need to group everything. Just group everything. So then you come to this option, then you click on align. So you align it everything to the center, and so we have your designs like this. I think it's everything really makes sense. So now come to, I just want to add this kind of uncommon feelings. It's common though, so that's just creativity for you. So I'll enable this and I will enable this. So I just feel like adding it. So move it down. So I'll make a copy of it. So let's make sure this is aligned. So I'll make a copy of this also and make sure it is aligned. So now just, so yes, it's not really much, but I just think it makes sense. It's just fun. So then you just save it. So let's move to Pixart. So welcome to Pixart once again. So now I import our design, and so you can see the design is making sense. I select this lens flare, I import it already. So I'll just come to my blend option. Mostly for designs like this, screen should work. So we have different blending option concerning design you are doing. So I just want this area to have this light flare effect. Not really much, you can just reduce it. So, and I'll come to this my layer option, I'll duplicate. So once I duplicate it, I'll just, let's have a little effect on our models. So let's reduce it. We don't really want much. So we are removing this just a bit. You can make a copy as well and just add it to those necessary space. So we can still duplicate. I don't really love using much text effect, but lens flare, sorry. So, but I think it would be nice a bit here. So if it doesn't work, we can just remove it. So it's okay like this. And let's do the final editing on Snapseed. Okay, so welcome back to Snapseed. So now here is our design. So for my final retouch, I don't really do much. I just use the presets. But if I'm working on the image, maybe I will make a video around that. If I'm working on image, I do detailed editing. So I use this plus icon to do that. But if I'm doing my final retouch, so I just use template. The most template I used pop. I use pop. But if it doesn't work on every other design, you can just try them out here. So but I either use pop or accentual. So this is the effect of pop. I think it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. Or you can try this accentual. That's just the final editing to just make your design bright and sharp. Yeah, so this is also not bad. So you can use pop and you click on OK. So you come to this three dots icon and you export your design. So, and that's how we come about this. So you can see how detailed it is. So if you really found this helpful, just let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And remember to subscribe. So I'll be coming with awesome tutorial like this. And I'll see you guys another time. Peace.